From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport. And driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Well, hello and welcome. Thanks for getting your pot on. Thanks for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. Day 2 of Tampon Face.
See that?
Yeah.
Did they let you keep it at least? So it could give the weather?
That's unbelievable. So I don't know if it's... does it hurt now?
Yeah.
I will tell everybody the answer is no. But it does. And I say no because I don't think anybody gives a fuck. I don't think that there's a person
we care
that gives a shit. And what are they going to do? You know what I mean?
Give you a hug?
Like if you say to somebody,
I would have had somebody give you a body massage.
no, but do you understand? Like what's anybody
Stay
do?
with the face.
Yeah, so they can go, so they can look at you and go,
"Oh,
I know. I'm sorry to hear that." So I just go, no, everything's great. No, it hurts. It's annoying. I was going to take most of this off today, but they kept saying, wait, don't shower. So I did like an
Irish shower?
Yeah, I did an Irish shower. You can't wash your hair because you can't get it wet. That can happen tomorrow, but it's supposed to happen later in the day. But I said, listen, I got a ton of shit that starts extremely early tomorrow. And she's like, yeah, you're probably right. And so I got to do that.
I have an idea.
Is it draining at all, or is it just...
No, it's just sewn up, but they had to go in a little deeper than they did it once and then they had to go back. They had to go back and go for more.
If this were 5 years ago and you can get those bags at Wegmans, those grocery bags, put it around your head, tie it, and then take a shower.
I gave him a whole box of them.
I have a whole box of them.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? You could.
I got them on the black market.
Wow.
Tie it around what? Your face?
Yeah, around your head.
Just leave a breathing hole.
I'm joking, of course.
No,
it's
I think
stupid. It's like you would suffocate.
It was weird going to the Target in Pennsylvania and actually getting a plastic bag. I'm like, oh, y'all don't care about the environment down here.
Right.
I'm an idiot. Weird. I still keep forgetting to get bags when I go grab stuff, and I'm like carrying crap out of Wegmans like an idiot.
They're still
and they judge you when you're like, do you want to pay for a bag? No, I'm good. I got like 6 things.
There's
I don't want to spend the nickel. I'll just carry it.
Some places can still use them.
The Chinese restaurant still uses them.
Yeah. And there's other semi-grocery stores that still use them. I will not name them because I don't know if it's how they got grandfathered in. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they're just pushing their luck.
I believe I may have gotten one of Jimmy Z's the last time I was there.
Probably.
Wow.
But
well, he was going out.
I think he bought them all in bulk when they were on sale before the government changed the rules.
Jimmy Z was going out in a blazing glory. F you, Hochul. I'm going to use plastic bags until we close this place at the end of February 29th. Take that.
That's the, yeah.
Now, my wife has like these special bags that like you buy ahead of time that you put your groceries in that save the environment.
You mean the reusable ones that everybody has?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But I always forget them.
Yeah.
She goes, keep them in your car so when you go in, you could use them. But I never remember them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
write yourself a little note, put it on the dashboard like you're 90.
Oodling did not have to go grocery shopping. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. Probably.
No, I don't think like that.
I forgot.
I just don't think.
Again. Okay, Dan, we understand. You just don't have to shop anymore.
Well, next time you go, just pick me up a bottle of Advil.
Okay.
Like
Do you want the liquefied kind?
That's the thing is like I go, somebody came in here and was talking to me and they go, and they go, it's just like you, does it hurt? And I said, no. And they go, come on. And I go, yeah, but I'm going to say no because there isn't a person on the planet that gives a flying fuck one way or the other. I go, what are they going to do? Bring me a bottle of Advil? I mean, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
People don't care. I mean, and that was like, here's the thing that I as I kind of think that way, my thing to anybody would be, do whatever you want to do and stop doing it for the reaction of others. Because no matter what anybody says to you, they don't really care.
No.
I mean, they do.
They're just making
I understand. They care. They care. People care. There are people that care about you. But most of the time, like even if they're going to ridicule you, it's 3 minutes and then they're on to something else. It doesn't matter. Go do what you want to do and don't listen to anybody.
What kind of pain is it? Is it like, ouch, it hurts like a son of a bitch? Or is it just that annoying?
Just
like,
that dull, aching, never-ending, always
like almost like a sinus, like your head's congested, kind of dull pain.
No, because it was more than I expected. So it's double stitched. I said this all, I'm repeating myself, but it was
stitch for daddy.
It was underneath it. They do stitches that'll dissolve. Then on top they do stitches that they have to take out because they want to tighten it up. Mm-hmm. So I got to go back in next week and get those out.
Okay,
but that's it. That's all.
You're not going to have your bandage do the weather or anything like that? Or?
No, not anytime. I did do that with, yes, I did do that in the past, didn't I? Well, we're trying to make something out of nothing.
He's not hack anymore, Dan.
No. I was working.
I'm still hack.
I was working at a different company, and that got around the building. Hey, you won't believe what they did on the show, on Weeze's show today. Go what? They had his tumor give the weather.
Yeah, I did the weather tumor. So I asked his permission before.
I know you did. I know you did.
I don't care.
I could do that. I could say that. I will say, like, this is like a minor form of skin cancer, but it does make you kind of think, because when they said to me, I was expecting to be like in and out, right? Mm-hmm. And they said to me, they call me and go 2 to 4 hours is what we're expecting. Well, so I'm like, all right, yeah. And I know that as though I'm not super young, I am for what they see. And, because there's the one guy in front of me, they ask your birthday, and he gives 1938 was the year, right? So that's like the average in there. And then there's me. So I
was before the boom.
So I thought for sure, like, they'll cut it, and then they test to make sure they got it all, and then they come in and sew you up. So I'm waiting, and then they go, oh, we got to go back in, and there's some over here, and they show you on it. I was like, I don't care. I'm not going to know. Just get it out. Just get it out. Mm-hmm. And
as you're listening to Tim McGraw on repeat, Live Like You're Dying.
No, they let you choose your own music. They let you choose your own music.
Talk about the options.
She said to
even
me,
they're like, John Hyatt, really?
Well, I didn't say John Hyatt. I said John Mayer. But she said to me, the only thing he may turn off is
cancer is a wonderland.
So, see, that's the thing is, so you start thinking, and I go, how much time do you have? Right?
Yeah.
And I know that I don't know, it's been this weird thing lately for me, because I go, I really believe you can do or be or have whatever you want in life. You can. But we don't, and the reason we don't is because of all the restrictions we put on ourselves and all the stupid thinking and all the resistant thinking. Well, I can, or I want, blah, blah, blah. But you want stuff because you believe you'll be better off for having it. Maybe it's a bigger house, a nicer car, a lover, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like those things. And I don't know, but we get it, and then it becomes like our reality, so we just sort of move on to the next thing. Yeah. You're always wanting, right? You're always wanting. Like there's always that thing. But I go, it's fleeting, but why do you want it at your core? Like, why do you want something at your core? What is it? Satisfaction? Maybe like you want a bigger house so every kid can have their own room. Maybe you're having a blended family now and you need a bigger house, and there's this house and it's not closing and whatever. There's all this hang up on it. And I go, well, go back to the reason why you want it. You want it so everybody can have an ease and a flow to life and their own space and all that stuff. Go back to that. The house that you're trying to get, maybe there's one that's better. It's in the ideal school districts. Maybe there's one better right there that you don't know about. Just go back to that feeling. Same thing with people, right? I want this part, but maybe to go back to what you want, the core base reason of why you want it. There may be someone better. The players may be different, but even better than you ever expected. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know why I keep thinking about that. So that's why I feel like your plan isn't working out, and you're banging your head against the wall on something. Go back to the core feeling as to why you want this or what you think. And usually it's satisfaction, abundance, whatever it is. Go back to that and try to just hold on to that feeling. And I guarantee, man, everything's going to work out for you. It may not work out the way you're picturing it in your mind now. It may be different people, different players, different things, but it probably will be better.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I've been thinking of that a lot. A lot.
Well, just one of these nights, make sure you teach one of us how to upload the show so we can do the tribute when you're gone.
It's very easy to do. It's just a push of a button.
Oh, you're not going to do a tribute with me? It's me? Thanks, Dan. Prick.
Nah,
I'll call Doug.
It just all hit me at once. Well, because like here's the thing.
Yeah.
Before
you say let go and let God.
Yeah.
Well, same thing. That's what I'm saying. Let go of wanting the house, wanting the person, wanting the lover, maybe that person that you're banging your head against the wall isn't the right person, but go back to what you want.
Right.
I want connection. I want ease and flow with somebody. I want these things. It'll happen. It just may not happen the way you're expecting it to, but it could be even better.
God's
and
plans
probably will be better. Do you know what I'm
better than our
saying?
plans. Right.
And I'm saying the same thing, just in a different way.
Right. No.
Whether it's a house, whatever. But
Yeah.
stop banging your head against the wall and try and just stop.
No, I had a thought, and then Kevin derailed it because I thought about when he said about tribute to you, and I'm like, okay, now how do I transition out of that? But what was interesting to me was about a week ago I had a physical, right?
Yeah.
And
You have 3 balls?
What's that?
What?
Yeah.
Turn your head and cough.
So what happened was
juggling down there.
so yeah, I've had some health scares the last couple of years, but everything worked out well, and everything turned out fine. But the doctor goes, all right, we're going to check your moles. I go, I've never really had those checked. All right. It goes, it shouldn't take long. And I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm noticing moles that I've never noticed before.
Yeah,
they've always been there,
right?
But all of a sudden now, I'm conscious of it
because it puts it in your head, right?
Right. All of a sudden, it's like, well,
you buy a white car, and now you're seeing all these other white cars.
Is that new? Is that new?
Yeah.
Is that no? None of them were new. But I don't remember seeing you last week thinking that you needed something removed from your face because it looked normal. So I'm wondering, like, how microscopic was this that they noticed it?
Because I noticed it.
Okay.
So I
because that's what scared me, is that I don't notice anything on your face that was unusual for you to need to have surgery. That's what scares me.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you noticed it, but I mean, none of us.
You're also not a trained medical doctor to know what you're looking for. You might have just thought it was a bump or a herp or something.
Or nothing.
Or nothing.
Or is it?
Or nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's why it's like, okay,
all right, so
should I be looked at?
Yeah. Well, everybody, you should probably be looked at. They'll tell you. So I go every 6 months. And then when there was the transition to doing this, and I didn't have health insurance anymore, I went in for an appointment, and they said, oh, I had new health insurance. We don't take this health insurance. And I said, okay. I said, well, then can I pay cash for today? And they said, no, because it has to go through insurance. They're like, I'm sorry, we can't see you. So this person I had gone to for well over a decade and had actually saved my life, because she found what she believed to be a melanoma, which is the deadly cancer, and said, had she let it go to when you would normally, a dermatologist would go, yeah, that's all right, you better go have that looked at. She thinks it would have been too late because it was so close to your sinuses and all this stuff. So I went to the same guy 10 years ago who removed this thing and got it out. And it got clean borders, no problem. And he said to me, man, it's so small. He goes, I don't know. She may be right, but I wouldn't call it a melanoma yet. That's what he said. She said melanoma. Okay. But either way, wonderful. So now I'm like, well, what do I do? Well, I got new insurance, and I, like most people, you get caught up. I procrastinated. And finally, I'm like, man, this thing on my lip is weird. And it seems to be growing. And it's like this, I don't like it. So I went to exactly where the doctor who told me, that doctor's office said, right across, we'll take your new insurance. They'll take it. You should go there. Well, I did nothing, right? I was somewhat embarrassed when I left because you're like, oh, sorry, get out. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It wasn't the case. It wasn't the case, and I understand the medical stuff. So I finally went over to this doctor, and she did possibly a more thorough exam than the other doctor. I mean, I was naked, everything. And she goes, yeah, I think that is probably a basal cell, above my lip, really small, but it was starting to bubble up a little bit.
It's the Italian one.
And yes,
So
I went and they did a biopsy. She goes, it is. And this was October. And she said, we'll get you in. She goes, would you go see Dr. Brown? I said, yeah, I've gone to him before. She goes, I think he's excellent. They'll remove it. Something we can't do in the office. They got to get clean borders and all that. Well, that was October. They couldn't. He was booked out till March. So I got on a waiting list thinking I would get in, and I didn't. And nothing ever happened. And here we are in March. So I got it done. And I don't know.
Well, I was sitting in my doctor's office last week because I had that whole congestion thing going on, and I finally went to the doctor. And I'm just sitting there waiting for my turn to be called. And somebody's on the phone. They're like, yeah, we're taking new patients. We're booking out to March of 2025.
Yeah, you know.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But the healthcare system's not broken at all.
I woke up with puffy eyes a few years ago, really puffy eyes, and I thought maybe it was a cashew or something that I had. So, because I'd never had
Not in the
cashews,
eye?
so at work I had because my boss used to have like snacks and stuff. So I had some cashews. All of a sudden, next thing you know, my eyes are huge.
Yeah.
So I go to the doctor and they prescribe prednisone, and they go, "We're going to have you speak to an allergy doctor." Okay. So the earliest we could get you in, now this was in September of 2019. The earliest we could get you in is July of 2020. Yeah. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And they run all the tests. No, you're not allergic to anything. I'm like, well, then what happened? We don't know.
Yeah. They don't know.
But I had to wait like 9 months to find out that, no, you're fine.
Yeah, I went 2 months ago for my colonoscopy, pre-screen, whatever thing. They're like, yeah, we're scheduling. It's going to be sometime in the end of June.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, great. I got the medication for it already. That came like 2 days after I was there, but like, yeah, that's not going to get lost in my house.
When I had my AFib, I had to wait 3 months before I could see a cardiologist.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no rush.
Well, I mean, the thing is yeah, because it probably isn't going to kill you. You're young, you know. But it's funny you bring this up.
It kills you, we don't have to worry about it.
This is a story from Phoenix, Arizona. It goes back to COVID, but there's a lawsuit, and you'll hear why in this.
An update tonight from the ABC 15 investigators. Caught on camera, Phoenix firefighters denying a sick woman an ambulance ride to the hospital.
To be honest, I just worked in ambulance.
All right, so hang on. I'm going to start again. So they're denying her a ride to the hospital. She has COVID, okay? But you're bringing up all of the being booked out for months. Staff shortages.
Yes.
ABC 15's airing of that video prompted a fire department investigation.
And our senior investigative reporter, Melissa Blasius, is following up, getting a copy of that final report showing policy violations and for the first time answering why a firefighter would talk someone out of an ambulance.
Okay. Talk somebody out. Now you got to hear this guy when he's talking because it's through the doorbell ring cam, okay?
It's August 2021. Heidi Pate has COVID.
You just want to take her to the hospital? She wants to go to the hospital.
This is what her...
All right, she wants to go to the hospital, and it's her son talking through the thing, and they said, do you want to take her? Okay.
Doorbell camera captured a Phoenix fire captain, paramedic, and firefighter EMT talking to her son after responding to a 911 call without bringing an ambulance for Heidi.
That ambulance is $1,500. I mean, we'll take her. You got $1,500. I know what I'd like to do with $1,500.
Heidi explained to me.
Now, there's this whole investigation. This woman wanted, she wasn't even given the. It doesn't sound like they denied it, but it sounds like they're trying to sort of talk you out of it. And I wonder if they're talking you out of it because they're short-staffed, and she's not dying at the moment. She's still breathing. Yes, she probably does need to get to the hospital. But why spend the $1,500? You take her.
Yeah.
You take her.
Yeah.
Now, this woman's point is, I need someone to stay with my younger daughter. That was going to be what my son was going to do. He's like of driving age, 16, 17, I think, or maybe in his 20s. So I wanted to just go by the ambulance. That way he could stay home with her, keep her calm.
That her son needed to remain at home to care for her young daughter, but instead he ends up driving Heidi to the hospital where she's admitted for pneumonia.
I wanted to be treated with respect.
Fire department, what's the address of the emergency?
ABC 15 has covered multiple cases of ambulance denials in the city over the past 2.
So I don't know if that's happening around here or not, but when you were bringing up, both of you guys bringing up, and me, right? Yeah. I was October. It was almost 6 months, 5 months.
Ambulances are tough. Because my wife had a situation 2 summers ago, and we called. She thought she was having a heart attack, like Dan over here. And we called the ambulance, and it took. We had 2 fire trucks there within a matter of a couple seconds, but the ambulance took like 25 minutes to get there.
Just because
there's no grease. There's no
grease
ambulance anymore, so it comes from wherever. And this one came from Hilton.
A lot of people think.
Then there was another call that came in. The next closest ambulance was in like North Chili for like the grease area. If you're having an actual heart attack, You could be fucked.
So I worked with a guy. Yeah, I worked with a guy who. Yeah, I know a guy whose wife called the ambulance. She found him dead, and the ambulance in Irondequoit took about 25 minutes to get there. I know a gentleman who owns a baseball team in Geneva and Newark, and he was telling me that he used to be able to rely on the ambulance to to buy sponsorships.
Oh.
And he said they had to stop because they weren't getting paid, because this is during the heroin epidemic, right?
Yeah.
Where people were ODing and they weren't getting paid.
Well, let me ask you that. For Little League and baseball games, your kids don't play, but hockey, do they have an ambulance?
No, high schools, they were not for like high school hockey, but I know football, they have to have an ambulance on
They
site.
have to have
I
an
know
ambulance
that there
on
was
site.
some scheduling issues this year.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get an ambulance
Right.
I don't remember what school it was.
I never thought of that until just now.
Yeah.
It's the only sport that requires, I think, an ambulance.
But
I think the pro sports like the Nighthawks, the Amherst, the Red Wings, they all have to have an ambulance.
I'm talking about
on
high
site
school,
just in
just
case.
high school level,
But
and college.
I thought when I was a kid in my Jerkwater town, when I played Little League, I thought they had an ambulance at all the fields.
Not when I played in a Jerkwater town too, and it was only just football games.
We never had one when Tyler played baseball.
Well, there was always one for the football games, but I thought when I played Little League, there would be an ambulance sort of in the circle at the Stanford Town Hall.
Okay,
maybe, and we're going back, and don't forget, there wasn't.
But that was back when all the towns had all their volunteer ambulances.
They had volunteer ambulances, and literally across the street from the ball field was the firehouse, right? So that makes sense now that I'm thinking at it. And I think they came down to the town rec sometimes too.
The baseball field in Greece is right behind the firehouse.
Yeah.
So
did they hit a special button when someone hit a home run?
No, but no, you got a free hot dog. Did you get a free hot dog? You got a free hot dog if you hit a home run. Yep, and then the coach would take everybody to Campy's, which is Campanella's, which was for soft ice cream and stuff.
That's why I led the league 6 years in a row in home runs, Dan. My free hot dog.
The great Hambino.
But wow, that's a strange thing. Is it because we're not getting volunteers anymore?
They've been priced out. There's just private. There's what, 2 private companies now, AMS and Monroe in town.
Yeah.
I think they just have taken over. I mean, I know Victor still has, Chile still has.
I think Pittsford has or in Bushnell's Basin, I think I know there's a volunteer fire department, but
for ambulances.
But what about ambulance? But do you know anybody who's a volunteer fireman your age right now?
I know one that was a volunteer.
He
just graduated the academy. He just got hired full time
as a firefighter.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody your age around here? Not talking Silver Creek. That's a volunteer fire person.
My ex-wife was.
Your ex-wife,
but I don't know anybody else.
Okay, I don't know anybody that's I think volunteer that I know. I know some guys who were like, Chief, I don't think I know anybody volunteer, which is sort of a scary thing when you think about it, because as much as I would always joke they were cellar savers when I was a kid, it was something funny that I had heard in my town, but you need those people at least.
Yes. A lot of the smaller towns, like I know Hilton has a big volunteer force. They have 5 or 6 that are actual paid firefighters, and then everybody else
back home.
Because you'll get a call. We went to a floor hockey game for Brady, and there was a call that came in, and you just saw 78 cars just pile into the fire department, parking anywhere they can, just hopping on the truck.
There was when we that gig I got basically booted from at the fireman exempt hall. A lot of those guys do work full time, but then also volunteer in their town. So
a lot of them are retired too.
Yeah, retired guys, and then they go back and volunteer, which I think is great. And in a way, now that I go, well, if you're going to talk about it, maybe you should do it. I don't know.
Back home, they had to turn people away. They're like, okay, we have too many.
Yeah.
We don't have enough fires. They're doing victory laps around the house. But yeah, but it was like a badge of honor, though.
Yes,
they love doing it.
Yes, that's the thing. But that's interesting with the ambulance. It's the cost, and I don't know that you have enough EMS workers.
And the ambulance cost it's a brutal bill to get too.
Ambulance used to be
they charge you by the mile. They charge you by this.
It was always $500 on my insurance, I thought. In the past. Now I don't know, $1,500. Like this guy to me almost sounds like
my mom was close to $3,300.
Yeah,
and they charged us mileage too.
Really?
Yeah, to go from my mom's house to Unity, which was an 8-minute drive all day long. in an ambulance with the sirens going.
Well, there's a very famous story about Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman wrestling in Memphis. Andy Kaufman, of course, this was chronicled in the movie Man on the Moon about Andy Kaufman. And at one point he told Jerry, okay, pile drive me.
Yeah.
Jerry's like, okay. So he pile drives him safely. Well, Andy makes it look like he broke his neck.
Yes.
And he tells Jerry, give me an ambulance. He goes, Andy, an ambulance is going to cost $300. He goes, I'll pay for it. He goes, okay. And they bring in the ambulance.
Yeah.
He pays him cash. Next day, Jerry goes to see him. Did I really hurt you? He goes, no, you think they bought it? He goes, yeah, I think they bought it. He goes, why? You just did it for effect? He goes, oh, yeah.
He went into.
He goes, I just wanted to sell the idea that I have my neck broken by you. I was the big bad guy.
Yeah.
You're the hero.
Right.
And he goes, yeah, I'll pay the ambulance, because he was a rich comedian at that point. He was famous, but he wanted to sell it so bad that he paid $300 for an ambulance back. That was a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, now it's. I thought it was $500 on my insurance. After insurance would cover up to, and then you were left with a deductible of like $500 on the insurance I had. I don't know about now.
When we paid it,
Might have been
I think we
changed.
got $500 from insurance, and we were responsible for everything else.
Should we make a pact then? If one of us has to go to the ER, that the other two will drive
Yes.
us? Okay.
Well, we know who it's going to be. It's going to be Dan. It's always Dan.
All right. Well, speaking of that, we will take a moment. Big changes in Buffalo.
Next segment.
Will Dan have a heart attack over this, or will he be happy?
Elsa, I'm coming.
We'll find out next, but first.